So just so you know, when I started out making this video, I wanted to do a video on the whole situation of these southern states sending these illegal immigrants up north to these sanctuary cities. Specifically, the governors of Florida, Texas, and Arizona are sending illegal immigrants by bus or by plane to these cities up north, specifically New York, Chicago, and Washington, D.C., and also now Martha's Vineyard, we see. And they're sending them by bus and plane, and the people know where they're going. The people want to go there. The people sign a paper acknowledging that they're going there. And a lot of people have been saying that this is such a terrible move on the part of these governors and it's inhumane. But what this has really shown is who the real white supremacists are. And I didn't want to be cynical. And I really thought, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and not call them racist and just call them hypocrites. But the more I look at it, the more cynical I get. And it's specifically with the Martha's Vineyard situation. So this video is just going to be specifically about that. This immigration crisis has been a very devastating thing for the people of Texas, and it's gone ignored by the Biden administration. And I'm just going to show you this one clip just so you get a sense of the frustration that they've been feeling. And I want you to note that this clip is from October 27th of 2021, which is about a year ago. And still, the problems have not been fixed. So to really understand this whole thing, let's first understand where these people are coming from.
Whether it's a Secretary of Homeland Security or a President of the United States who is literally refusing to willfully execute the laws of the United States on our southern border, specifically refusing to execute Title 42, Migrant Protection Protocol, do whatever it takes under the law to secure the border, to protect the citizens, and fully abandoning that. We are upending our entire order and creating a situation where you have the governor of Texas having to say he, as governor, is going to have to figure out how to defend the border of Texas. And no doubt my learned colleague from Maryland would question whether he has the authority under the Supreme Court's Arizona decision to enforce federal law when the federal government is actually abandoning its duty under the law to secure the border of the United States. But that's what's happening. It's directly what's happening. And not one of my colleagues has been able to refute that once in any of the conversations we had about that. Not once. When we've got tens of thousands of people pouring across the border, 70,000 who have been paroled or been sent out with notices to appear. And my colleagues are shaking their hand, but they can't refute it. It's literally irrefutable because of what we're seeing happen at the border.
So that was not the first time, and it definitely wasn't the last time Chip Roy had complained about this in Congress. But that gives you a good idea of what he's been saying. Now, when they sent these migrants up to Martha's Vineyard, because again, this is what I want to talk about specifically, they claimed a lot of these people had been tricked. But the truth is, a lot of people were appreciative. In fact, let's watch ABC News and see what they said about it.
Here to Martha's Vineyard. So there's activists here, Jose, that are saying that these people were victims of human trafficking. They want an investigation from the Justice Department onto what Governor DeSantis is doing, what Governor Greg Abbott is doing, because they're saying that these people are being abused and used to bring a border crisis deeper into the country. Now, I can tell you they are not angry at Ron DeSantis. They're actually thanking him for having brought them to Martha's Vineyard.
So like I said, they're not mad at Ron DeSantis, but somebody's mad at Ron DeSantis. It's the people of Martha's Vineyard. And why would they be angry? Because we know that they had this sign, and this is the sign that I put as the thumbnail. And it says that they are welcoming of immigrants and all these other things. Why is it such a big deal if 50 immigrants go up on a plane and show up unannounced on Martha's Vineyard? It becomes national news. And it's They keep saying they had a warm welcome. They had a warm welcome. But here's where they ended up, not even 48 hours later.
Hola, ¿cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo te sientes? ¿A dónde te llevan? ¿Sabes a dónde te llevan?
So I guess they would consider this a Martha's Vineyard welcome. It's a, you're welcome, now get out of here and we'll make sure the door.
Gracias, gracias por estas grandes personas que nos apoyan.
Periódico en español, ¿sabes dónde te están llevando?
No.
Okay, that's fine. See ya. Thank you.
¿Dónde nos están llevando?
Now let's listen to what this lady says. This is the head of the, I guess, homeless shelter there on Martha's Vineyard, which, of course, she's probably used to not getting any business at all. But let's see what she had to say.
And everyone is jumping in to help. We literally have everything we need. I mean, we need for all of our guests to get the help they need to be in this country and safe and housing, and that's not something that we can do here at the shelter, right? We're a stopgap. This is an emergency shelter. So
What are the most difficult challenges right now?
the difficult challenges are we have, at some point in time, they have to move from here to somewhere else, right? We don't have the services to take care of 50 immigrants, and we certainly don't have housing. We're in a housing crisis as we are on this island, and so we can't house everyone here that lives here and works here. We don't have housing for 50 more people. So that is our primary crisis. We have this emergency shelter set up. We literally have everything we need.
So I want you to think about what she's saying there. For one thing, they don't even have enough housing for their servants, is what she said. And this island has an average of $1.3 million per house, is what the sale is. And you know who else has a house on that island is somebody who has been very friendly towards immigrants in words, and that is Barack Obama. But even though his house could probably house all 50 of these migrants, we haven't heard a peep out of him. And I can't believe that with so many people that really care so much about migrants, they can't find one or two people at least to open their doors to help these migrants out. Or what about the hotels? Aren't there hotels on the island? Yeah, there are. I find it very hard to believe that a place that has so many resources, that has more resources than these places that are trying to deal with the tens of thousands of people that are coming over, they don't have these resources. And here's the attitude that these people have. And Muriel Bowser really said it out loud, and I'm glad she did, because I want you to see what...
Has it given you a better understanding of what they are dealing with elsewhere in our country?
Well, I know what we're dealing with, and I'm elected to make sure that DC residents have what they need and that our systems can support, our needs. And when we have emergencies, we set up an emergency response, and that's what we're doing to focus on what's coming our way.
Your message to Governor Abbott, who continues to try to hammer his point home?
Is that for me, there's a political debate to be had about immigration. The points that I want to make is that we have to have a system that makes sense, that's fair, and that gives people a pathway to citizenship who are here. And that is something that has to be handled by the Congress and the president. For mayors like me and that are dealing with a crisis not of our making, and we're not a border town. We don't have an infrastructure to handle this type of a level of immigration to our city. But we'll create a new normal here in our infrastructure and have a humane welcome for people and an efficient service provision. But we don't have the ability. We're not Texas.
Do you think that the migrants being...
I guess that is a point that I missed, that border towns are designed for mass immigration, and they're supposed to be able to handle this sort of thing, right? Isn't that what they're there for? This is a problem of elitism. And while I do think there is a lot of racism that has to do with this up on Martha's Vineyard, and mainly that's because of the speed and efficiency, I guess, at which they got rid of all of those migrants within, 36 hours? No, the actual problem is that these people are elitists. They're used to getting their way, and they get their way through how much money they have. The Martha's Vineyard people up there, they didn't even have to deal with 50 of them for 36 hours. They donate their money to organizations like Black Lives Matter, and they do this to make themselves get rid of any sort of burden they may have on taking care of lower society. But not to mention that BLM burned down so many black-owned businesses in black neighborhoods, and it was mainly done by paid Antifa white people. So you got to wonder, do they really know what they're doing, or are they hypocritical, or are they just trying to give everybody hush money to stay off their backs about it? They don't have to worry about dealing with these dirty migrants because they pay all that money to all these other organizations to do that. Why would they have to do any of that? And to them, this is a crisis. It's a crisis, and they're freaking out about it. They're calling Ron DeSantis inhumane. These people are that far gone and that far disconnected from reality that they don't even see the beauty of this political stunt. It was probably one of the best ones in history, honestly, because it really just forced them to show themselves for who they are. And that is the real racists and the real elitists in this country, who don't care about the people in the border towns or any of the other towns where these migrants were getting shipped to before this high profile incident. Now, I'll give you this opportunity to go ahead and hit the like button down below, and I appreciate you doing that because it really helps get this message out to more people. And if you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate everyone who has subscribed recently, and you're helping me grow this channel and get this information out to more people, and it really means a lot to me. I'll keep trying to do my best for you. Thank you, and peace be with you.